years of work, early mornings, no excuses. And the best part is, she is still doing it in her 50s, competing and beating the best in the world. That's not some genetics. That's years of consistency and belief. When most people start to slow down, she is finding all these new gears. This episode is about breaking limits, the ones in your head, your body, your life, and keeping the promise you made to yourself when no one is watching. In that note, please let me introduce to our guest today. Here is Lina.
Everyone, my name is Caliskaner. I'm 53 years old, living in Norway, married, and been doing ultra running since 2016, I think. Yes, started to run in 2008. Before I started running, it was the worst thing I could ever do. But I had a thought in my mind that I could learn to like it. And yes, mission complete, I can say.
Yeah,
So I
thank
don't
you
know
for
what
that.
else to say for introducing myself. Is it, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead,
yeah,
shoot.
that is good. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that quick introduction about you, and welcome to the podcast. And as we were talking about earlier on, you said you only run road ultras.
Yes, yes. I don't like trail. Not at all. I really don't like trail. I think the reason is you get good at what you do. And I almost never, or right now I can say the last years, I never go running in the trail running. I never do. So even though just thinking about it, if I see someone running in a bumpy road where there is stones and everything, I can imagine myself just triple. Yeah. So for me, and the longer you don't do it, the worse it gets, right?
Yep.
I can go hiking in the mountains and do these kind of things. I have no problem, and I even enjoy it. But running in the trails, not for me. The Norwegian trails are technical, though. Yeah.
We were talking about, like, when you gave your introduction, you said you started running from 2008, and then from 2016 you got into this ultra running world.
Yeah.
And what was the transition for you? Because you said you started running from 2008, so you were a marathon runner, road runner for 8 years, and then you went into ultra running.
Yeah, I did my first marathon in 2015. So I did. It was many years. I was just running like three to 4 days a week for many years. And in the beginning, I wanted to learn how to just enjoy running. When there's something you're not used to do, and your experience with running before is from school and these things you have to do and the tests you have to do, and you just don't like it.
Okay.
So, but I'm an impatient person, so I think that sometimes it doesn't go fast enough. So that's the reason I thought that maybe I have it within me that I can do this. So I started to run just short trips, and for many years I was doing maybe 10K, 4K, 5K, not races, but just for training. And I had in my mind that what if I one day could do a marathon? So it was for many years, I was like, what if? The feeling, the question, the big question, what if? Before I did that, I hadn't heard very much about ultras either. Normally, people that is not into ultra nowadays, a lot of people know about ultra because it's grown and been much bigger, especially here in Norway. But before it was no one talked about it. So unless you actually did it, the thing that everyone is thinking about is marathon. Marathon is the thing and it's the maximum what you can do. So I even in the beginning, after I started with ultra, when I said ultra, I think I met someone that asked, okay, how far is that? Is it comparing he or she? I don't remember the gender either. Thought maybe it was even shorter than marathon because everyone knows about marathon, but ultras they don't know about, right? So I didn't. For many years it was like, what if I one day? And for me, and it was a long time I didn't even think that maybe I can't do it. It was before I did my first marathon. I did half marathon, My first, I've done one half marathon. It was in Turkey. It was also in 2015. So when I started on the starting line for marathon in 2015, it was here in Oslo. I was there, and I only my husband and one more person knew that I was gonna participate. I didn't tell anyone, and I thought that, okay, I don't know if I can, how this will be. I had never run longer than 21K. That was the longest I ever done. But I was thinking, okay, let's see. Maybe I have to walk the second part. If so, that's also fine. Yeah. So until then, it was just marathon that I was even thinking that what if I could do someday.
What drew you to the ultras? Because you said you only ran one half marathon and you jumped into the marathon, and from marathon you just jumped into the ultras
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
2015 and 2016.
But it was, yeah, but it was like the shorter ultra. So it was 50K, the first thing I did. Or, yeah, 50K and the 45K, this eco trail, the eco trail that is they have in several countries. It's in quite many countries they have started. It's like it's running in the cities. I did eco trail also in it. You have different distance. I also did it in Paris once. The maximum length, I think it's 80K, but they also have 45 or 50K. So I did that one because after the marathon, I was like, okay, I managed marathon. What else can I do? So I think the first marathon, it just triggered something in me that I think it is quite interesting to see what mind and body can accomplish together, because it is a mind and body thing. So that's why but before, I know that my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, he told me after I did the marathon, he told me, but Lina, one day you will do ultras. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? I've never thought about it. Yeah.
Your transition is amazing, right? Because you went from half marathon to marathon, and then you went into ultras, and
Yeah.
now you are competing against the best in the world, and it's just not like small distances. You are going 100
Yeah.
miles, and you're pretty much on the top of the level. Wherever you compete, you always, most of the time, you win the races.
Sometimes I win, and then sometimes I don't. Yeah. So it's both. It's both.
Where did this change come from? From where you are just like, oh, I'm gonna just run marathon and I'm just gonna run ultra, but then you are now doing this like it's a completely different lifestyle because now you are more
Yeah.
competitive against elite runners.
Yeah. The first ultras, I did my first 100 miler, I did in 2019. When I started, then I was like, I don't know what I'm going into. So I had never run that far either, and it was unmarked, so you had to run with the DPS and everything, and it was crazy. I was running then because that, of course, it took a long time. And I was running with a friend. First of all, I signed up by myself, and a friend of mine, he also signed up, and he asked, "Do you want to run together?" And I was like, "Yes, please," because I was scared that I'm gonna run alone during the forest during the night. It was scary. We ran together all the time, and it was my first experience running. And I think that's some of the things I love about these long distances. You start here. It was started in the mornings. We started in the morning, running all day long, and it getting dark. And we pass the houses, and they turn off the lights because everyone is going to sleep, going to bed. But we're still out running. It's totally dark with headlight and everything. And in the morning, the sun rises again, and at the houses, the people around, they are also waking up because the lights are starting to be turned on, right? So this feeling that you're running all day, and you're still out there, you're running, you're doing your stuff. People are living their life. They are having dinner. They are maybe have a beer or whatever, and you're still out there running. You're working through the night, and they're going to sleep and everything. So it's the feeling when the sun rises in the morning. It's just perfect. It's magic, and I think I had that feeling the very first, even though we were walking a lot. And it was hard, and it was freezing cold because I had no experience. So I did bring some wool clothes, but I had never run that far before, and I hadn't. I didn't have an experience, and I didn't have the thought that, yeah, but during the nighttime, you're getting tired as well, and you are moving slower. Of course, it's getting colder, so I was really cold. So I learned a lot during that race. And I met all of these beautiful people helping out, like the volunteers, helping out on these pit stops everywhere. And even it was one place, it was like after 130K, I think. It was in their house. They had some extra buildings in there. It was a farm or something. And when we left there, the woman responsible for that checkpoint, she said that, did you eat? Did everyone eat? Did you eat everything? And do you have enough? Do you have your clothes on? Are you all good? And I said that, yeah, I have all the clothes I have with me. It's on me. I don't have anything else. I didn't even take off, and it was in the morning, so it was light. I didn't take the reflective vest. Nothing I did take off because I just wanted to have something, every layer I could have. And this beautiful person, she said she was living there and she had never met me before. And she said that, but do you want to borrow extra wool? Sure. And I was like, can I do that? Yeah, sure. Just deliver it to Mona when you at the finish line. It will be fine. She had never met me before. And to have that experience, the first, like for a really long distance, and see how these amazing people in the ultra running world, how they are, it was just, yeah, I'll never forget that moment, I think.
Yes, like we were talking about earlier on, I also did my first ultra, and the people at the aid station were like, when I was taking less of food, and they were like more, and
Yeah.
it was such a nice feeling and completely different because I always used to do marathon, and you always want to run fast, right? So you don't care about the people who
Yeah.
is giving you food or whatever. So I did half marathon last week,
Yeah.
like the general gross, and this was the first time I thanked every person who gave me water because I was talking to all the ultra people, and now I just felt bad because I never did that before. So I thanked everybody who water, like food, whatever. I said thank you, and I all the people, like everything, and it was just like, I think sometimes we forget to thank people because they are going out of their way to come and help all of us do a lot of. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's such a nice feeling, especially in the ultra community where you just
Yeah.
everybody's
They
helping.
are.
Like
Yeah,
I didn't.
it's something special, really.
Yeah, I even like you were talking about the person you run with. I never knew anybody when I went to Montsau. It's 7 8 hours away, and all the people were giving me suggestions, and we were shouting. They were so far ahead of me, and
Yeah.
they passed me, and we were shouting like crazy. People who were on top of our lungs. It was funny. Like you said, the first time we did 100 mile and first time I did this, I'm never gonna forget this because I
Yeah.
learned so many things from this experience.
Yes. Yeah. So it's really because I had this, even though it took me my first 100 miler, it took me how many hours? It was some small parts of trail, actually. It was in 2019, so I did some small, but I didn't go for trail races, but it was some small parts there. I think I used 33 hours or something. So it took time.
Yeah, yeah, that is a lot of time.
Yeah, it is a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
it
just
was fun. It was amazing, actually. Yeah.
can you imagine what do you do for live? What do you do? Why do you run? And why do you run for 33 hours? It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun
Yeah.
because it's fun.
Yeah.
We put ourselves through so many things, and it is nice that we challenge ourselves to go out of our comfort zone and do all these kind of things. Looking at your career, right? When was that pivotal moment when you realized that you can compete at the elite level? When did you figure out that okay, I'm just not
Yeah.
I'm just not, what do you call it? I'm just not happy just finishing the races. Now
Yeah.
it seems like I can compete against the best people.
Yeah, I never thought about. I didn't have that thought, never actually. But what changed is in 2022. I have done Spartathlon 3 times, and the first time was in 22. So I signed up in January in 22, And in March, I think they announced who was picked out, because it's a lottery. Unless you have a minimum distance, it's a lottery. And I signed up, and I never thought that I would be picked out in a lottery. But they said my name. So suddenly I was doing Spartathlon, which is 246K. And that is crazy. I did think that I had, because I had been running quite a lot during, like, a steady running during a week and so on. So I did think that I could manage to complete Spartathlon. But I was 2 weeks after I got the message, I was thinking that what can I do to make it a more comfortable ride through Spartathlon, to prepare myself better. That's why I thought that maybe I should contact someone to coach me, to help me improve. And I have what I think is the best ultra coach in the world. Absolutely very best of Norway, and I think also Europe. He made something with my mind. I don't know. It was some competition things. I don't know what he said. So after starting cooperating with him, my mind was changing from just to do ultra, just to get to the finish line, until do better and do well. So it was something there that happened. So until that, I didn't think about me competing among other elite runners. I didn't think about me as an elite runner at all. I didn't think that I could be an elite runner. So it was, yeah, I have a lot of thanks from him.
How do you find the difference in yourself? Because before you were just running 100 miles for fun, right?
Yeah.
33 hours, but then you were competing against the elite runners. And how was that feeling for you? Like when you're just running for fun and then running competitively against all the other
Yeah.
elite runners?
I think that of course he structured my training, so I improved. It was really a peak improvement that first year, first 12 months. And he always believed in me. And also that helps, of course. And I start more believing myself as well. So I think that I don't know, it's hard to describe actually why it changed and so on. But of course, he structured my training and I improved. And then I think it's now because I am not the youngest of the ultra runners, even though ultra runners are not, the average age is way above 20. But even though I'm not the youngest, let's say, since I'm over 50. So right now it's like I want to take this chance as long as I got it, because it is a limited time until I cannot compete among the very top level. Right now, I think that's what's driving me to try to improve. And I think, as I said, I think it's fascinating what you can get your body and mind accomplished together. It's because it is, of course, you need to have the training load. Do you have to do the hard work, right? You have to get out there. You can't just go to be in a top level. You can't just think that, yeah, I will go out for a 5K and when it's sunshine, right? It doesn't work like that. You have to get out there, even though it's dark and if it's raining or whatever, and go and do your work like every week. Yeah.
It is, yeah. For if you wanna, even if you want to finish a marathon, like you have to go and put up the work,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
and you would, and for you, right? So you are competing against other people, and then in that note, you went and you did the Badwater,
Yes.
and that is a total different experience, right? So how was that race for you?
Oh, yeah. That was another race that I was signing up for, and I was like shocked that I was picked out at the very first attempt, because a lot of people there, they are applying for several years before they are accepted. And here, because here's no lottery either, it's you have to sell yourself to say that pick me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was shocking at the first that I actually was selected. And it was then I had to start training for Badwater. It's more hills than I normally do, but of course Spartathlon is also hills. So I've been using to do. I used to do training for long distances, and Spartathlon can also be warm, but not as warm as Death Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, but I do like warm weather. I have more issues if it's too cold, because then I use a lot of energy to stay warm. So for me, it's better that it's a little bit too warm than a little bit too cold. So I prefer the warmer part. But of course, it takes training. I have this infrared sauna at home. This is thing you're like a small tent you're sitting and it's only your head sticking out. So I use that a lot. I went to Dubai for 10 days training in Dubai up front of Badwater. And of course, I traveled to Death Valley 1 week ahead of the race to adapt for the heat and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, it was warm, but it's dry air in Death Valley, so it's not 50 degrees in South Europe with more humidity. It's warmer than 50 degrees in Death Valley. Yeah, and it's just to start out there.
And how was that experience for you? Because, like you said, in Europe it's different, right? It's not that high as that Death
Yeah.
Valley. So, was it all that you thought it would be in your experience when you imagine, oh my God, bad water? So, when you went and you did the races, did it ever, was it everything you imagined how it would be?
Pretty much, I'll say. It was the air was really dry. So that was maybe one of the things that I didn't imagine that up front, because it was your mouth totally dried out.
Yeah.
So that was the part that I didn't prepare for, but I could handle this no problem. But the scenery in Death Valley is just, as a road runner, I love running on asphalt. And as a road runner, like to run in warm weather, long distances. That's just 3 checks for Badwater. Imagine you can just run and that it is like this endless road. It's like a never ending. You just see a road straight ahead. And the thing, it describes how Badwater is. The whole course, you have 3 turns. Yeah, you have 3 places you are selecting to go left or right or go ahead. Yeah. The rest of the part, you're just following the same road. And also in the beginning, it was just beautiful. Of course, in the very beginning, I was in the front. We were 4 or 5 people in the front. Simen Holvik, he's the other Norwegian. He's been running Badwater 3 times. He won this summer. He was ahead of me. So then for a long time, I was number 2. Of course, we were the 3rd wave. So it was 2 waves before us. So we take the ones that started before us. Of course, we will be passed later on. But it was one part of the race, in the first part of the race, where we started at night, 10 o'clock at night, so it was totally dark. And there is no light sources out in Death Valley. You have a couple of gas stations. We passed one hotel, the one we stayed on. But it's not much to pass either. So it's totally dark. And at one part, when I'm running by myself, the only light I have is from my own headlight. And the road is just straight ahead, or it is curved some parts. But then you can see lights from other support cars and other runners, like a snake moving slowly up. So it was just beautiful. It was kind of wow. I'm here. I'm now in the middle of Death Valley, running here alone. Of course, I had my crew with me, so they were never far away. But it was beautiful, and you have all the scenery when it gets light, and you have the sunrise, the sunset. All these parts is just it is beautiful. That is.
And when you are doing this bad water, so there are so many stories. I talked to Jessie, and then she absolutely hated it.
And then
Uh-huh. Okay.
and I talked to Harvey Lewis, obviously. He has finished it 14 times, so he is always going back. So I asked him, and
Yeah.
he gave me the same answer as you gave just now, how beautiful it is. So he pretty much said
Yeah.
the similar thing, like how beautiful it is, and he loves the heat. And Jessie didn't like heat, so she pretty much hated the thing.
Yeah.
So what was the hardest part for you in Badwater? And when you are at that hardest part or going through that portion, what
Yeah.
kept you going through?
The thing is, when it comes to ultras, it's like I don't remember very much afterwards. So there is parts during an ultra where you have your downs and your ups, right? If someone asked me just after I passed the finish line and they asked me, where did you struggle? Then I was like, I don't know, because it's tough to forget it, right? The thing is that yes, I did win, but I am not happy with my own performance at Badwater because I know that I can do better time wise. The thing is that I ran all the way until we came to Lone Pine. So I had, of course, I had some short stops, but I didn't walk any part until we got to Lone Pine. Lone Pine is the third uphill. Then it starts. It's a last half marathon uphill. And I did one mistake because the long road just flat before we come to Lone Pine, I was thinking that when I get to Lone Pine, then and start the uphill, the last one, I'm allowed to walk. I told myself, and that was a big mistake because when I came to Lone Pine, my head only said walk, and to walk that last uphill, it took hours. Instead of telling myself that I'm allowed to walk when I get to Lone Pine, I should have told myself when I get to Lone Pine, I will try to run as much as possible. It's the half full, half empty glass thing. Because when I came there, and also from Lone Pine and up to Mount Whitney Portal, I hadn't seen that part of the course. That's the only part I hadn't seen before. And when you get there at night time and it's dark, the uphill seems much steeper than it actually was. And when I came there, and it was uphill, and it just felt like it was very much uphill. And I told myself that now I'm allowed to walk, so I started to walk. And my pacers and my crew were trying to talk me into running, and they said, "But Linda, should we try to do some running?" And I was like, "No, it's not possible. It's not possible." And I was so convincing to them that no, it's not possible to run anymore. So it was just I didn't do well enough mentally in that part. Because the next day we were in the light when it was light, we were driving up to Mount Whitney Portal, and I was thinking, but this is not steepy. I could have run some here. Yeah.
I know that feeling.
So
I
I think
mean,
that's the worst part when I was walking there because it was like a never-ending walk. It takes so long time to walk half marathon.
yeah.
And when you've been running for quite some hours before as well, it takes even longer time. And it was like a never-ending story. And I was asking my crew, okay, how far is it now? How far is it now? How many curves left? How many curves left? So I think that was the worst part. And my crew told me that and at one point they wasn't sure, they weren't sure that if I'm gonna manage because they felt that I had no energy. Yes, I was a little bit lower on energy than normal, but I wasn't that far down on my energy level as they thought. But it was like after I passed the finish line, they said that it was like a new person came out, and I was going from down here to all the way up.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Chris, and they were like, "What happened to her?"
Yeah, it's your mind is amazing because
Yeah,
when we set a goal, then it's so resilient, right? It goes and it will push you, like you said, you didn't stop for apparently the last climb. And I think that is how our mind is. It always seeks comfort. And once you say, I'm going to do it, then it's just going to, there is no
yeah,
other way, no way possible. And I think that happened. It happened to me too. not on the 100 mile ultra, but I I was running a half marathon and I was trying to get a PB, but I was not sure because I didn't train a lot. So in my mind, without looking at my PB is, I set a plan
Yeah.
and I nailed that plan up until 16 kilometer. I was like, yes, all the speeds were correct. And then as soon as I looked at the clock and then I calculated, okay, now if I run at 6 minute mile, then I can make a PB. I don't have to worry about it. Nope, I could not run anything
Yeah.
after that. It was, the mind is so tricky because when we are pushing and then it will lift you because it's so determined to make that goal. And once we are satisfied, it is like it doesn't move. I know that pain.
Yeah. But I was never I was never in the mood that I was thinking that I'm gonna quit. So it's very seldom I feel that I want to drop out. That is very, I think I had that thought once in my last Spartathlon. But then I was like, I didn't train that much. I didn't come all the way here. I didn't suffer so much to just quit.
But yeah,
I can't do that. Yeah.
true, true. And what did winning Badwater mean to you?
It made me feel proud that someone like me could go to one of the most iconic races in the world and actually be in the top of the podium. It was something I couldn't imagine before I went there. And staying there on the start as well, it was never in my mind that it was I wanted to, yeah, I knew that I could be fighting for the podium. But to be in the very top, I wanted to be there, and of course my mental is that yeah, I'm gonna do my best and so on. But to be able to actually win that kind of race, it's something will have with me and something I can, yeah, I'm proud of that label.
I was talking with Megan. She ran Badwater too.
Yeah.
So Megan ran Badwater too, and she was explaining how it felt on the final stretch where all the all the crew is also allowed to in the finish. So how was
Yeah.
that moment for you? Because you obviously were competing and were competing to win, but when you came to this last final point and coming with crew, like how was that for you? Because that winning is something incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing, and I had such a good crew, and I couldn't have done it without them. They did everything for me. I'm so thankful that they were willing to join me on this journey and all that they did for me. Because to crew in one of those kind of races, it's no time for rest for them. They are on their foot all the time. They're always up on their toe tip to do their best. To cross the finish line with them and feel that and it was as much for me as for them, it was a victory. They are a big part of my victory, and they are sharing the podium with me. Absolutely. And it was an amazing feeling. And yeah, I had so good people with me.
Were there any tears when you crossed the line?
No, it wasn't. It was just, I said, the first thing I said to Chris, oh my God, I'm glad to see you.
You just said you had that one spot, the last final stretch, where you have some unfinished business. Does that mean you are going back next year and competing again?
I haven't decided yet. I do want to go back to Badwater. It takes a lot, both to have a crew that are willing to spend their time crewing me. It takes quite a lot, and it's quite expensive.
It is. Races are expensive, and that is very demanding race too. I talked to a few folks who did Badwater, and like you said, there is no rest, because you have to be up and you have
Yeah.
to be so, aware, like how you are doing. If you need anything, then nobody can sleep. Everybody needs to be
Yeah.
on top of their game.
Yeah.
And the races are expensive. Kokorona is like $1,600 to get in, and it's my god.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
then
how
you
much
have
that.
all of this other stuff. You need the car and the equipment. Yeah, I flew 4 people from Norway to US, and the
A lot of
hotel
money.
and food and everything. Yeah, it's and nothing is cheap in Death Valley. There's no competition there, so it's everything is it costs money. Yeah,
Yeah. And for four
but
people, that is even more.
for 4 people and plus myself, so
Yeah.
it's you can imagine taking your big family with you on a holiday in Death Valley. It's yeah.
It is expensive. Yeah.
It's a,
Yeah.
yeah, and plus all of this other stuff you need to have all of this equipment that is mandatory and so on, and the car and everything. But it was worth every penny, let's say. And I had a great time, and I do want to do it again. So we'll see if how it is, when it will be, and if it will be, and so on. Yeah, we'll see.
You said you did Spartathlon, that is 240 kilometers,
Yeah,
and that is rough. Badwater 135, okay, but 243, that is also hard. So you
yeah.
said you had this
246 it
moment,
is. Yeah, it's like 150. 150 miles,
miles.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's 246 it is, yeah.
You were mentioning earlier on, you said you had this low moment where you wanted to quit.
Yeah.
So when you,
There's one trail part in Spartathlon. It's 2 or 3K, and it was in that part. Yeah, in Spartathlon, I think it is like how many? It's the elevation. I don't remember. Is it 3,000 or maybe 4? I don't remember. But it's a bit. The course is, of course, very different from Badwater. But you have one after 100 miles, actually after 160K, you have like over a small top. So there is, and then you walk. It's not possible to run right there because the path is very bad. And of course, I'm not a trail runner, and you already passed 100 miles. You've done already 100 miles, and then it's uphill and it's quite steep. But so when you get up there, so you walk up there, and when you get on the top, it's not that steep down, but it's a little bit. But the surface it's like a path. It's quite wide, but you have this loose surface on top, so you're just slippering everything. Of course, there are a lot of people there. They're just fearless, and maybe they are doing more trail normally as well. They're just running there. But even though I'm just walking, I managed to just fall because it's just slippery. The surface is just slippery. So when I was coming on the top there and I was walking down, and it's the only bad part of Spartathlon. And I was walking down there and I was like, oh, what if I just fall now and I injure myself? I don't have to walk the rest. So, but then I was like, okay, cut the crap and get your ass down this hill because it's getting better. And I didn't do this much until I did put in all of this training load to quit. And as well, I was in the beginning there. I was in the front. But then I was number 3 when I started up that hill. But of course, down there, the 2 girls were passing me. And I was like, okay, now the podium is gone because they were passing me. And when I get down on the steady surface again on the asphalt, I was like, okay, I can't just give up. I just have to push through, and I have to try to get back on the podium. So I was like, I turned, my mind was switched, and I pushed the last, I think it was the last, how long was it? The last 40, 50 Ks. I was just pushing. And I was running like I had someone chasing me. And I did, because I passed them again. And I didn't know how strong are these 2 when it comes to downhill, because it also has, you have the last part of Spartathlon is also downhill. And I'm not that good downhill runner. But actually, that part of Spartathlon I knew very well, because the last 2 years I have been in Sparta for training block in August. So I've been running, and I was staying in Sparta, and I've been running up and down up this same hill several times. So I knew every curve of the hill and everything. But of course, I didn't know how strong they were. So I was just like feeling the last 40-50K that I was just running and they're chasing me. And it last 10K, I was just grabbing some gel or fluid from my coach. He was crewing me, passing, and I was just running like I'd never run before. So it was to reach to the finish line. Yeah, in that Spartathlon, I had a very good start. The middle part was not that impressive, but the last third, I was going all in. So I finished up strong, and that's why I'm proud and satisfied with my last Spartathlon. Because I managed to turn around and turn something bad to something good.
That is impressive. And you did it in 24 hours, right? Is that the race that you did in 24 hours?
No, it was in 26 hours, 30 minutes, I think. Yeah. The last time I tried, it was 26:30, I think. Yeah.
Wow. That is incredible, though. Still, 240, 150 miles
Yeah.
in
But
26
I should
hours.
be able to do it with, if I didn't do this middle part bad, I should be able to do it within 24 hours. So we'll see what happens later.
And compared to Badwater, so what was the challenging thing for you mentally and physically when you did this Spartathlon?
Yeah, and I think for actually all of my races, the mental part is not that. I'm quite strong mentally, and I think that's one of my advantages. I didn't always do that well mentally, but then if that starts, I'm very unhappy with myself after the finish line if that's what's breaking me, right? Because it's, for me, it should be something that is easy to cover. It's something to handle. The mental part is something that I'm normally able to handle quite well. The most difficult I have is nutrition. That's the hardest part for me, because when I'm running these distances, I have problem with chewing. So normal steady food, real food, I have problem. And after a while, the girls, they are getting like, also sometimes
Okay.
they are, yes, tricky. So I'm always trying to see what adjustments can I do to do better, to handle nutrition better, because that's one of the things that I should improve a lot. It's not possible to run without energy, right? And that's the hardest part I find. Also, but I'm trying to figure out what to do. I have, like, for 24-hour races, or also in Badwater, I had this instant noodles. Yeah. So I need something that doesn't demand any chewing, that I can just swallow. And also this instant potato puree, you just fill up water and stir. These kind of things. But of course, it doesn't give that much energy. But you get something in the stomach that I can put the gel on top of. So to balance out some of the gels. And of course, I also drink. I use this carb mix from Precision and Hydration, and yeah, so that it's the balance with all of these things. And since I am not that big person, like size wise, I think I have to balance how quick I get something. Yeah, to make it like maybe more frequent, smaller portions, or yeah, these things. Because sometimes my stomach is not that very happy with what I put in. Let's say that.
It is issue for a lot of people to I talk to.
Yeah,
All
yeah, it is.
it's
I think it is. I think that's the most challenging for me,
yeah.
to get control of this nutrition. And I know that I have to get it in, but still, sometimes it's hard.
Mhm.
And sometimes at the end, late in the race, and then putting in a gel, and
Yeah. You're eating so much of gel, so it goes. You don't want it's.
yeah, and all of the like. But I'm trying also. I also use some candy, all of these kind of things. So you're just putting in a lot of stuff, all of this sugar. So
Yeah,
for the next 2 days after an ultra, it's like detox for sugar.
definitely. It's detox for sugar recovery as well. And how is recovery? So you did Berlin 100 mile too. So in that race, how was your recovery compared to Badwater and Spartathlon?
Recovery is quite. It depends on how hard the race has been. Like a 100 miles race, it's harder, like for the muscles and everything, because it's higher speed, right?
So
Pace is higher according to some other races. So it's when it comes to recovery, I have after last when I was in Berlin now lately, I had 3 days totally off, and I started to for a short run the fourth day. Yeah.
that's it.
Yes. And I was quite impatient during these days. And even though, and when I'm starting out, at the first run I did after Berlin 100 miles was on Wednesday, so it's 3 days later, and it was only 8K. And it's like putting a small piece of candy in front of a child and saying that you can have this piece, the rest you can't touch.
Yeah. It is hard though. It running, like you said,
Yeah.
when you do the shorter distances, then it's harder for you to. And I'm sure it's much flatter than the Spartathlon and
Yeah.
Badwater, the Berlin 100 mile. It's much flatter too. So it's you
Yeah.
want to run faster. You want to run faster. How?
Yeah.
What was the time for it?
What?
What was your time on the Berlin? I have not checked.
No, in the last Berlin. Oh, I didn't do. It was 15 hours 43.
Oh,
Yes. I have some redemption to do. It was I started off too fast and I was running too fast for very too long time. Yes. That didn't pay off well.
you just said only 15 hours.
Yeah, 15:43 actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
only
it
15.
was, yeah, it was a lot slower than last time. It was so nice to be back there. People were cheering on me. They remembered me from last time I was there, and they were like, yeah, it was just great to be back. And I also met some other, that's also one of the things. After starting to racing abroad, you get to know people from other countries, and you meet again in different races. It's like you are meeting up with your friends again, and this kind of things. It's so in Berlin now. It was Carmen. I was number 2 female. Carmen, she won. She's also going to World Championship in 24 hours now in October, as I am doing. And also Nurman, he's the 24-hour champion in Germany. He was racing there as well, and he's also going to World Championship. And Pascal, the winner, he made a new track record right now. He finished up in 12 hours 38 minutes. He was just crazy. He was running like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, and he's also going to World Championship. So to meet up with these people and also meet up with the other people that were cheering on me in 2023 and now again. And yeah, it was in one of the aid stations. It was one man. And this is something that I really take to my heart and I take it with me. He said that I remember you from 2 years ago. You were the fastest and the most friendly. So that was and to be the fastest. Yeah, I was the fastest, but that he remembered me as the most friendly runner from 2023. That's something I really take to my heart, and I appreciate to hear, because as we said, that the volunteers in the races and what they do for me, in when I do a race, it doesn't cost me any calorie to give them a smile and say thank you. And for me, it's natural to do that. It's nothing that I take on as think that I should do that. It's just it comes naturally because of these great people. Yeah, so they were cheering him, and it was so great to be back there. And Harald, the race director, he's such a great guy, and yeah, so it was cool to be back.
Yeah, I remember I saw your name, and I'm in a chat group in Berlin, and then they were doing that 100 miler, and then somebody was posting all the pictures from the race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I saw your name too, and I'm like, oh, I know her. I know her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was great to be back, and yeah, so I will be back again. I will be back to Berlin again.
I will
Yeah.
see you next year, so I'll be there next time just to support you.
So it's I like the race. I like the whole organization and everything. So it's great.
November 9th is the registration date, so I'm keeping my eye on it.
Yeah.
I just put in a note on my calendar earlier on before I call you because I know you did 100 miler, and I was like, I'm going to register it. That's why I looked at it, and then it said registration opened on November 9th. So
Yeah.
I put an alert on my phone saying, okay, I want to do a 100 miler next year. So I
Yeah.
think that will be it that I want to do.
I don't know if I will be back next year or in 2 years, but I will be back for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how hard is it to get in, but I'm gonna give it a try and see if I can get in.
It's for Berlin. It's not hard to get in. It's just to sign up, and they had quite many spots, so you don't have to be signing up for the first date. But of course, you never know. You should sign up early to make sure that you have spots. But it's great, and you have all of these aid stations. You have 26 aid stations, so it's frequent, and you don't have to in that race you don't have to have a crew. You can manage by yourself. 2 years ago I did by myself. This year my coach was with me. He crewed me after, because they're allowed to crew on bicycle after 60k. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So after so he was doing 100k on bike while I was running, and I'm so grateful that he joined, because to do 100k on bike, even though it is not fast, so you don't have to be that. But of course, if you're not used to do a lot of bicycling, some parts of your body doesn't feel that well afterwards.
But his butt is fully hurting because
so I told him after a while. I told him because I was feeling that I was getting tired, and so when I told him, I hope you are hurting soon. No, you're feeling as bad as I am.
It is hard. It is. I can't imagine he biked for 100k. So that is commitment. So that is a good level of coaching. So
no, he was. I was so grateful, and I'm really thankful for all the times that he's helping me out on these races. It means a lot. So it's great.
Yes, that is nice to have the support too. And you do 100 milers, right? So sometimes you finish them in 15 hours, but sometimes you do Spartathlon that takes a little bit longer. So when you are training for these longer events, how do you train your mind? Because it is not easy to just run for hours and hours.
Actually, it's for me, it's if I start something, I want to finish it up, right? So I never think that it is an option to quit unless I get injured, and I should quit, of course. Sometimes I'm not wise enough to quit then either, and that's not a good thing. So if you get injured, you should stop and pull out. But but I think the thing as well for the mental training is that there is no option. Like for every day or during a week, I run 7 days a week. I have maybe one rest day within 3 weeks or something. I have one rest day. I don't do hard runs every day. Of course not. I have just these steady, slow runs, just recovery runs as well. But I have a plan, or my coach gives me a plan that I follow. And for me, there is no option in the morning when I get up that am I going to run today or am I not? It's just I am running because that's part of my life. I do that. I'm a really early bird person, and I love running in the morning. In the morning, I have a busy job. I work as a project manager in finance, so the days are very it's busy. And of course, I have a plan when I'm going to leave the office, but suddenly something shows up, so you can't just leave whenever you want. But in the morning, no one wants to reach me that early in the morning. So I do run commute to the office Monday to Friday. And if I work from home, I run commute to home office, the same distance as to the physical office. So for me, it's like that's just normal. I do it every day. I never think that I'm not going to do it. And I have a routine. So when I get back from the home from the office in the evening, I unpack my backpack and I repack it, and I find the clothes for next day to run in, and I put it in the bathroom. So everything is ready. I don't have to think about what to wear. I don't have to think about should or should not. It's just ready. It's just there. So I just get up, get it dressed, and I get out. And I think that as well, that you're by default, I am running. There is no question. There's nothing that I consider should I run or shouldn't I? How do I feel today? It's just something. It's part as I'm brushing my teeth, I'm also running. That's normal routine, right? And during weekends, I do longer runs. So maybe then I have a long race run Saturday and Sunday. So 2 days in a row for a longer run. It can be 30K, it can be 40K, it can be 50K. Yeah. So it's, and to have, you are used to run on tired legs. So I think that the combination of the mental part, that's just something I do. I don't consider it's just something, it's part of my life. And I have these longer back-to-back runs. I think that's the key that is making me able to do what I do.
That totally makes sense. I used to be a product owner too. So you mean, yeah. So I know,
Yeah.
I understand it. Sometimes you're about to leave and they're like, whoa, there is an issue. So you
Yeah.
gotta come and look at it. So yeah, I also like to run early in the morning. And once it is finished, then you don't have to worry about running the rest of the day, right? Because it is finished. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's the best start of the day. And when I get to the office, the coffee and the breakfast, it's just perfect. It tastes good.
yes. And
Yeah.
more focus too. And then you don't have to worry about running. Oh, yeah, I have to go home and run. And that is once that is
Yeah.
done, then you just
Yeah, and
move on
also
to the next.
like in the morning, then I feel like after I get up from bed, then I'm fully charged. So I don't. In the afternoon, your battery is lower
Lower,
because it's
yes.
been a busy day and everything. So even though when you've been a busy day in the office, it's sometimes it's good to just get out and get some fresh air. But I think in the morning for me, it's more important to run than in the afternoon. And also those days that I'm going to office and I'm taking the bus, I have 18K to the office. So I run 18, a little bit more than 18K every morning. And it takes quite a long time with the bus as well because I have to change it halfway or something. So and if I have a rest day and not running to the office and I'm taking the bus, you get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom and go out and you sit down on the bus and you almost fall asleep again. So you don't get any energy from that. But after running, you have more energy, and I'm feeling more, my mind and everything is more ready to do good at my job. Yeah. So I think but of course, everyone is different. And I haven't always been like that, but it's just changed to it. And at one point, I started to get up earlier, and at one point, I said, "Okay, now I can't get up earlier in the morning because now it is already really early."
Yeah. I know that feeling. I used to wake up at 4:30 and go to the gym, and once you just go and do the gym or run whatever, then it just
Yeah,
feels the energy is so nice because you
yeah,
shower, you are fresh, and when you reach there,
exactly.
it just feels so nice. In the
Yeah, it
evening,
is.
you may not run. I don't know how the workload is gonna be, how much mentally tired I'll be. Do I run? Should I run? I'm not gonna do it. And that's why I just do it. The first thing done. Rest of the day, I don't care. So anything, I run it
Yeah,
and don't have to worry about it.
that's right.
And you said you run 15, 18K every day
Yeah,
on the weekdays, and you do 30K, 40K, 50K, depending on whatever you are
yeah.
training on Saturday or Sunday, and multiple back-to-back runs. So you run so much, and you do races, and you compete at the top level. Have you ever faced burnt out where you
No,
are? No. Okay.
no, I haven't. But one thing I'm aware of is that, especially in the beginning when I started to run every day, because actually the everyday run, it started during COVID when everything turned down, right? And everyone is sent to home office and working from home. The first in the beginning of COVID, and I was running like maybe 3 or 4 days a week, and the other days, instead of running before I went to the home office, I brought my coffee cup and I went for just a walk, just to get some air, and not feeling that I'm getting up from bed and just in front of the computer. So to get some kind of movement. But after a while, I really fell in love with this morning run. So I think that's, and slowly but in the beginning, actually, I think it was October 2020. 2020 was COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah. So it was in October 2020. I was trying out this run streak. But run streak?
Yes.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was trying out that, but then I told myself that it doesn't have to be more than it doesn't have to be more than 2K if I don't feel like more. But I just wanted to do I wanted to do 1 month with doing run streak. So I did that, and I think that was one of the things that made me into who I am today, because I got used to I was after the first week, or after 5 days, and I was like, oh, okay, 5 days done in a row, a little bit more than 3 weeks to go. But within those 3 weeks to go, I got so used to it. So I felt that this is something I want to do every day. But of course, in the beginning there as well, I was very focused on not doing long runs. I was thinking that, yeah, but I'll just go out the door. If I want to turn around, I didn't even think about this minimum distance for run streak. It was just, I just wanted to be doing some running every day. And I was thinking to myself that if I go out the door and 200 meters up the road, if I feel like I want to turn again, it's okay to turn. But I had to put on my shoes and get out there. And it never happened that I wanted to turn after 200 meters, because when you're first out there, you're enjoying it, right? But I was very aware that I wanted to do this as something I enjoyed. Not something that I have to do. So I've always been focused that I'm going to enjoy my running. I'm not going to run just to run. I want to enjoy it. And by having that in my mind, I do really love to run. I do enjoy running. But I think that the problem is when someone is getting something in the head and thinking that I'm going to do this no matter what. Because then you put a pressure on yourself. And then if you fail, you feel so bad, right?
Yep.
And you get in a negative loop. So I think that's the reason why I haven't had this burned out feeling, or I have had that problem, because I do love running so much that for me it's important to keep that enjoyment. I want to keep that feeling, because that's why I'm running. That's why what I learned to do, what I learned to love, and I want to keep that because it's so big part of my life. I don't want to lose that part, because that's the part that makes me as me. It's what parts that makes me smile, it gives me energy, and it has brought so many friends into my life from the ultra community. Some of my best friends I have in that community, a very close friend. We got to know each other during a 100-mile race because we're running together like after 30K or something. So we spent quite many hours together. And these parts I don't want to lose. I want to keep doing this because I like doing it. And I think that's the most important thing to do, because I think there's so many people, no matter what you do, if you're running or if you do other exercise, if you do something and you think that, but I'm going to do this 4 times a week, no matter what, then you have a negative entrance to do it. And I think that as well, if someone is starting to change their lifestyle, they are thinking, or how they eat or whatever, if they are too strict to themselves, you get so much pressure on yourself that you just fall out, and you get this negative feeling and negative atmosphere around it. So I think that's the reason, and I think that's so important that people do something. Of course, in the beginning, you're not loving it because it's hard, right? But
Yes. Yes.
yeah, but so you have to go through a period, no matter if you start to do strength training or in the gym or running or whatever you do. A lot of time you have to work yourself through maybe a 3-4 week period. But after that period, you get to a level that you start to enjoy it, but then keep what makes you enjoy it.
Yes.
I think that's the how you can have a success and continue the journey and get something out of it and make it as a part of who you are.
That makes sense. I think for me too, it before, like you said, like I putting pressure on yourself is not so good, because once you put a pressure on yourself and you have this unrealistic goal, or maybe the
Yeah.
goals were realistic, but then once you fail to get it, then it feels so. And that's why after
Yeah.
last Berlin Marathon, I did not want it to run. I was like,
Yeah.
what is the point? Because I've been training for a whole year. I trained
Yeah.
throughout the year, and I wanted to get this time, and then I couldn't get it, and I was like, so I didn't want it to run. I hated it, and it was like this.
Yeah.
I hate this. Yeah, it's. I completely agree with that. And what is next for you? As we were talking about the championship that is in October, and after
Yeah.
that, any other races for you?
I don't know if it's going to be more races this year. Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. For next year, I am going back to Keys, 100 miles. I have some unfinished business there. It
Keys, as
was,
in
as
Florida
in Keys,
Keys.
yeah, in the US.
Florida
Keys
Keys.
100
Okay.
miles. Yeah, I did it in May. Spent too long time. It wasn't a good race at all. I have unfinished business. Redemption. And it was such a beautiful race. It's
Yes.
100 miles, just one
Straight
road,
road. Yeah.
seas, yeah, and everything. So it was beautiful. I want to go back there next year. But so far, I haven't discussed the total plan for next year. Right now, my focus is on the World Championship in 24 hours. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to stay in Spain for 8 to 10 days for just a training block to World Championship. And so that's the main focus now, because it's the World Championship. It's quite amazing as well to be my age and be allowed to represent Norway in this kind of race. It's also something. This is my second time. I did also in Taiwan in 2023. I had to drop out after 15 hours there, so I have also some unfinished business with World
Business.
Championship. But to be in that time I was 51, so it's to be able to first time participate in a World Championship after past 50 years old is quite amazing. I'm humbled to represent Norway, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I will do my very best, and I have a plan how to lay or to set the
To
schedule
win.
for the 24 hours and how it's going to be. And it's one of the things I love with races is I'm really happy those times where I really you have to dig deep. You have to be, you're in there, you're in the pain, but you're staying, working your way through it and fighting your way through it. And that feeling, to be able to do that, that's one of the best things afterwards, and that you've been in the pain. But to conquer that feeling, it's just great.
And what is the goal for you in the championship? Is to win, I guess. I'm sure, probably
Yeah.
not even a question.
But there is, yes, of course, I'm going to do my very best, and I want to fight for a spot in the podium. So we'll see what is possible. There is some really strong 24-hour racers. There's big competition like Camille Heron. She's amazing. You have is it Mika? Her name is she won in Taiwan in 2023. She made a new world record. She beat Heron's old record with 200 meters or something in 23. Yeah, and then there's Patricia. She's Polish. She's really strong. So there's really strong competition out there. So we'll see. But
Tina as well, so
yeah, so I will be out there. I will be out there fighting and see what my body and mind will accomplish. But I will be absolutely fight for it, and then we'll see. I'm right now. I have this mantra for myself that yes, I am getting older, but I'm getting stronger. Yeah, so that's my mantra, and that's what I'm working for. I do. Yeah, I actually do believe so. That's because sometimes people are asking me what now, or can you be better? And I'm absolutely sure that I haven't peaked the top yet. I'm still climbing. I do believe that I can do better.
I believe in you too. I think
Thank
you'll
you.
get the podium. So I think you'll get the podium.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it. Right now I'm preparing for World Championship. I'm focusing on that during my training, and then I'll start thinking about other races after that's done. Yeah, then we'll see. So the only thing I know for next year is Keys 100, that I know, and then we'll see. But of course I'm not done with Spartathlon either. So I have.
So many races.
Yeah, it's Spartathlon also. It's an amazing race. It's a feeling when you're racing through all of these small villages. You're passing these villages and people are cheering for you. You hear like an old lady sitting up on her balcony cheering. You have people in the street. They are like, and a lot of cars passing you. They know what's going on. So when they see someone running with the bib, they are just shouting bravo, bravo, and they are, yeah. So it's like you're feeling that you're shared from Athens to Sparta. It's an amazing race as well. So yeah, I really think that more people should try to get a spot in Spartathlon because it's an amazing race. But of course, you need to be prepared and you need to handle the load on your body. And that's also something I want to say, that when people are starting with ultras, you have to build step by step, stone by stone, to make sure that your body can handle everything, because it takes time, and it takes time to be strong enough to avoid injuries as well, both that part and also to keep your mind on the right place. Yeah.
Definitely. That sounds interesting too. And a few things left. One of the questions is, so you remembered you did the first 100 miler that took you 33 hours, right? So that
Yeah.
Lena that was trying to run her first 100 miler. So if you could go back and if you could give one advice to that Lena, what would you give it to her?
Yeah, I would have told her about ultras earlier. Because she didn't know about ultras before 2015.
Yeah.
So and of course, because as soon as I did the marathon, or the younger Lena should have tried marathon maybe earlier,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
because then I would have discovered ultras earlier as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's to after you have built up the volume to make sure that you can handle the distance, I think that to try it out, because even though you haven't done a lot of races, if your body can handle the distance, and a lot of ultras have the cutoff times are really, you can handle it, right? So like my first 100 miler, maybe it was 32 and a half hour and the cutoff time was 33 hours or something. But to believe in yourself to do that, I think there's, especially among women, we want to be more sure that we will manage before we try it, while men, they are more fearless. They are, okay, I'll do this, and they don't know, right? So it's typical. You can see typical in 24-hour races, when it's track races or just these loops. In the beginning, you see all of these young men. They have no experience with 24 hours, and they're speeding off very fast. And they quit after 8-10 hours because they're totally burned out.
Yeah.
And you have the older persons or the female, they are more patient. They take the time, right? So it's, yeah. So I think that's for women, we should be less afraid of not managing it. We should push ourselves to take some chances. What is the worst thing that can happen? Okay, you can't reach the cutoff. That's the worst thing. So it's to try to do something without actually knowing that you will manage the cutoff or anything. I think that it's something that we, as a women, we should be more aware of. We should be more fearless.
Yes, and more women competing too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I think that in Norway, it's getting up more and more female runners. We also have some younger, strong female runners. So they are coming up. They probably maybe some of them need some more years to get the experience. But there is quite many runners, and ultra running is just getting bigger in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. It's cool that people want to try it out, and hopefully more of them will go abroad and try races abroad as well.
Yes. We have to try different things.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you some rapid fire questions now. So it is just a bunch of random questions that I'm going to ask you. So whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
Favorite race ever?
My favorite race. I think it's hard. I have 3 favorite races. It's Berlin, Spartathlon, and Badwater. And Keys. So I have 2 long distance and 2. It's yeah. But I like Berlin. Yeah.
Worst hallucination or low moment during mid ultra?
I had one in my first Spartathlon. I had hallucination. I think that's the only time I had hallucination. It was late in the race. I was walking down the road, and suddenly in Greece they have this, where it has been accidents. You have this small box for a memory as for the person that died. So it was one of those boxes I saw on the side of the road, and it was an old couple standing there. And I came close and it was no one there. But I saw this old Greek couple standing there. Yeah.
Morning runs or evening runs? Morning for
Morning.
you? Yes.
Morning.
Music, silence or podcast while you are running?
Combination music. When I do tempo runs, music, slow runs, podcast, or audiobook.
Dream race you have not done yet?
I don't know. I had, until this year, I had the Keys 100. It was one on my bucket list. And last year I also had Badwater. So Those were two that was really on my bucket list. Right now, I'm not sure. I have to fill up my bucket list.
Do you prefer hills or downhill running?
Flat.
Flat is more even fun.
Yeah. But if I go to hills or downhill, that's the part just shooting about Badwater, because you have these three very long uphills. The first, I think, is like 29K. The second is 19 or something, and the third is like half marathon. And after the second, you have a downhill for 15K. I should think that after doing two long uphills, that you will just love to let loose and just without any energy go downhill. I hated it. It was the worst part of Badwater because it was just painful. Yeah.
It is painful. Yeah, I can.
Hate it. Yeah,
After all that climbing and all that time, it's
Yeah.
the worst.
But you think in the mind, you think that yes, now it's downhill, perfect,
It's
and you get
worse.
there and it's no.
Yes. Like my quads can't handle it.
Yeah.
Quads keep moving.
And then
Cannot do
they're
this.
totally screaming, stop.
If you had a running superpower, what would you want?
To be able to eat whatever I needed.
Yes, that is a good one for you because since you cannot eat anything.
Yeah.
And so, two questions left. I think you may have answered this question, but I usually ask this to everybody. Why do you run?
I just love it. Freedom, let the mind rest of my head. I don't know. A lot of ultra runners, they are running from something. People are saying that, yeah, that maybe before they had problems with this or that or whatever. I don't have any backstory. I don't have any history that is terrible, or I lost someone, or running from something. I just learned how to love running and I just love it. So I'm one of those persons that actually I run because I love it. I don't run because I'm escaping from something. Yeah.
That makes sense. And the final question is I would like you to finish this sentence for me, please. Running has changed my life because.
I got to learn so many lovely persons from around the world from this sport. I think that changed my life, but it opened my horizon. It's made my family bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you so much for your time. I think this was a very good and nice conversation talking to you and talking about how you did it at the Badwater and all the Spartathlon and then the Berlin 100 too. And I think so many new insights for all the upcoming runners coming to the podcast. So yeah, thank you so much. And I appreciate you giving your time to me.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be asked to join their podcast. If someone asks me if I want to talk about running, I can talk for hours.
No, you are incredible. You are doing this and you are going and kicking butt and competing against all the younger people and winning it. So you are doing incredible things. So it's inspiring, and I hope that other people can take something from you and then see, look, she is doing it, so can we, and then they start putting the laces and start running. So that is the goal of the podcast.
If I can do it, if I can become going from a ordinary runner to fighting for the podium, spot on the podium among all of these great ultra runners, everyone can do it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll be keeping an eye on the 24 hours World Championship and rooting for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the podcast. I hope you really enjoy this conversation. I'll see you again next time with another guest. Until then, happy running.
Running with fire.